Hello children and welcome to today's session. We are going to learn about the most interesting thing that we see all around us, the green plants. Green plants are all around us. Plants are very important to us. We know that human beings and animals depend on plants in so many ways. We also know that when we step out of our house, the greenery on the roads, the greenery in the gardens, the greenery in our balcony lifts up our mood so much. बिल्कुल ह्यूमन बींग्स और एनिमल्स के जैसे प्लांट्स भी डिफरेंट शेप्स एंड साइजेस में आते हैं. कुछ प्लांट्स बड़े होते हैं, कुछ छोटे होते हैं. कुछ प्लांट्स पे फ्रूट्स होते हैं, कुछ प्लांट्स पे फ्लावर्स होते हैं, कुछ पे दोनों होते हैं. और मजे की बात, every fruit, every flower, every leaf is different from each other. So the way we all, human beings, have different faces, different heights, even plants have different shapes and sizes. We are going to learn in this chapter about a very important part of the plant, which is the leaf. As I just told you that we all depend on plants for food. So how do plants prepare their own food? And other than food, what are the things that we depend on plants for? And do plants also depend on animals and human beings for something? Interesting, isn't it? So let's get into the lesson. Let us now understand about a very important part of the plant, the leaves. As you can see in this picture, the leaves come in a variety of shapes and sizes. So you can see here the maple leaf, the neem leaf, the pine leaf, and the eucalyptus leaf. One thing that is common to all these leaves is that they are green in color. Why are leaves green in color? This is because the presence of a pigment called chlorophyll. This pigment not only imparts the green color, it also traps the sunlight. और इसी sunlight की वजह से होता है photosynthesis, which we are going to learn a little later. If you look at the leaf very closely, you will see that the leaf has got a few main parts. The flat part of the leaf is known as the leaf blade. As you can see, there are many lines running around the leaf. These lines are veins. The food and water is transported across various parts of the leaf through these veins. But the question is, how do gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide travel through the leaf? We have learned that leaves take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. लेकिन ये exchange of gases होता कहाँ पे है? ये exchange of gases होता है stomata में. Stomata are right below the surface of the leaf. They are also called guard cells. जैसे हमारे building का guard gate को खोलता और बंद करता है, उसी तरह stomata guard cells open the gates for the entry of carbon dioxide and for the exit of oxygen. One of the most important functions that we have just learned is that leaves are the food factory of the plant. Leaves produce food for the plant and the excess food is stored in various parts और यही वाले parts human beings or animals खाते हैं. The second important thing is that leaves help the plant to breathe through stomata, and in this process, remember what they give out? They give out the precious oxygen. The third important function is that leaf gives shape and color to the plants. So imagine, think for a while that if you look at a plant जिसके ऊपर सिर्फ branches हैं, in comparison to a plant which is full of leaves, which plant is going to look more attractive? Obviously, the plant with many leaves on it. Now we have been talking a lot about the fact that leaves are the food factory of the plant. But how exactly do they manufacture food? Let us understand that. So in this picture, we can see the various activities that are taking place in the plant. So there is presence of sunlight. We have just learned that chlorophyll pigment, we have already learned that chlorophyll pigment traps this sunlight and helps in manufacture of food by the process of photosynthesis. अगर इस वर्ड को फोटोसिंथेसिस को दो में ब्रेक करें तो हमें मिलता है फोटो which means light and produce which means manufacture. So manufacturing of food in the presence of sunlight. Sunlight के अलावा और क्या चाहिए? And this water travels all the way up to the various leaves. Leaves absorb carbon dioxide. So together water, carbon dioxide and sunlight are used to manufacture food in the leaves. Now this food, now let us understand how sunlight is very essential for the process of photosynthesis through a very simple experiment. As we can see here, this plant was kept in the dark for 2 days. A leaf was then plucked from this plant and it was first bleached. It was first bleached by boiling in water and then in alcohol. Then the leaf was simply washed in water and put in a petri dish. It was then subjected to the iodine test. A drop of iodine was put on the leaf. It did not turn into blue-black. That means no food was produced inside this leaf. This is how green plants produce their food. But how do non-green plants produce their food? You must have seen mushrooms and molds growing on dead parts of plants, sometimes fallen trees, sometimes fallen leaves. So they derive their nutrition from dead decaying plant matter. Then there are plants like coleus which have got variegated leaves. Variegated means that they have a very different color. The green color is subsided. How do these plants prepare their own food? This is still happening in the green portions of the leaf. As you can see, there are very few portions with green color inside it. This is exactly the site where photosynthesis takes place and where production of food takes place. Now let us understand how the plant uses this food. Just like the human body uses the food for growth and development and repair of damaged cells, the plants also use the food that it prepares in growing, in producing more leaves and branches, in making flowers, fruits and seeds, and in repairing damaged cells. As we had discussed right in the beginning, what is the relationship between plants and animals? We know that human beings and animals depend on plants for oxygen. What do plants depend on human beings for? Now let us take a very simple example. Grass is eaten by deer and a deer is eaten by a lion. Now this stepwise chain in nature is known as food chain. If we remove any one part of this food chain, for example, if we remove grass, what is the deer going to eat? What is the lion going to eat? Because the deers will eventually die out. Similarly, if we remove the deer, then who is going to eat the grass? And what is the lion going to eat? So it is very important for us to understand that it is very, very essential for us to create a balance in nature. Plants, like all other living beings, are a very, very essential part of our environment. We must take care at all times. Now, in this chapter, we have learned about green plants. We have learned how the leaf produces food. We have also learned about the stomata and exchange of gases. And we have learned about the interdependence of plants and animals. Thank you.